Hello and welcome to We Ain't Found Sith, issue 53. I am your host, and this time I am coming to you live and in color.
Oh,
Hey!
what, bro?
Oh, hey, buddies.
Long
Good to
time no
see you.
speak.
I know, right?
You look good,
Very long.
bro. I like your
Thank,
shirt.
thank you, thank you. Oh, shout out to Roosevelt's.
All right.
Roosevelt's. For all your fine shirt needs for those of us who are a little bit on the larger side. Although they do shirts for regular size guys too.
Yeah.
But definitely, if they want to sponsor us, I'd be happy to wear a Roosevelt shirt every day.
I'm about that life too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
I
got a
am
pretty
your
cool shirt
host.
though.
Yeah.
Cool guy
Oh,
gave me this shirt.
I know that shirt looks familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I am your host. My name is Evan. Welcome to We Ain't Found Sith, issue 53. Joining me, as always, are my co-host Pedro
Hey!
and the guy who keeps things running for us, our master technician, the guy who, without whom this show really would just be two guys sitting around a tape recorder, uh, trying to figure out how do I get this onto the internet. Producer Fungus.
Yoga fire.
Anyways, we are just fresh off of our We Ain't Found Sith TV tournament. And towards the end of last episode, you guys were kind of giving us your ideas. And while we are not yet ready to do the animal tournament, Chris on buddy, that's coming. That day you've inspired us, and then I think we're gonna have a good one there. We are doing I'm talking about the Marvel Netflix series. I believe was it Walter?
Mario.
Mario's Mario.
Hmm.
He was asking us. They wanted us to do just a Marvel Netflix tournament, and we were like, "Well, but I mean, pretty much Pedro was like, yeah, Daredevil wins, and we all kind of agreed.
Yeah.
And so we was like, you know what? But we haven't talked about the Marvel Netflix series. It's one of those things where I think once we heard they got canceled, the last couple of seasons were kind of we weren't really in a rush to get through them.
Yep.
I have since completed the series and
Nice. Nice.
have not. So can now say I have watched all of the Marvel Netflixes. Um, Pedro, did you finish the third season of Jessica Jones?
No, I have absolutely no desire to watch that.
Real.
Mm.
And you're a guy who actually likes Jessica Jones the series.
Yeah, but I mean, I got to get invested, and I'm not invested. Like I said, if there's no Hellcat, I don't care.
Well, I mean, there's Hellcat. It's just not in the.
No, I want the fucking Doctor Strange Hellcat that goes to different dimensions and goes to hell and shit. That's what I want to see. But if we
Okay,
don't
well,
get that, I don't fucking care.
all right. Well,
All right.
I mean,
Okay.
you haven't really gotten anything like that on any of these Marvel Netflix series, so
No,
I
but
don't
we
know why
got
you.
we got we got we got true to form for like Daredevil, not Iron Fist. We got it for Luke Cage, and we got it for Punisher. Even Electro was pretty true to form.
All
The only
right.
thing we didn't get was fucking was Iron Fist and Jessica Jones. I don't care enough about her to fucking follow her through that journey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, Chris. No. I will not be doing that.
Chris
Chris
Hunt
is
is out
that.
here making wild requests,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know what kind of Photoshop magic Chris Han's gonna want to do, and just thank God I don't have a green screen behind me then, because it would make it all the easier. Uh, okay, but everybody else here, Gus, you watched all of Iron Fist, you watched all of Punisher, Daredevil, all of that.
Yeah, I watched
So
everything.
all right, so basically the only thing that hasn't been seen is Pedro hasn't seen Jessica Jones season 3.
Season
Uh,
3. That's it.
yeah. So I mean, I guess if we're gonna start, right, let's just start at the beginning.
Yeah.
So obviously, this is what now, 2013, I want to say, was it when this show came out?
Damn, was it
Uh,
that long ago?
it was 2015, but I think it was like 2013, 2014 when they announced that everything would be happening, and I mean, at first we were all kind of like, "Oh, cool! I wonder how much this is gonna tie into the movies and stuff like that." And I think the answer to that was pretty much like, we're gonna mention that the events happened, and then we'll never mention it again, right?
Not in the movies, but
Not in the movies, but on the show, they
yeah.
referenced that the
they reference New York and all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's one of the things that they reference the incident and things like that. And even though there wasn't really a direct tie-in, I guess the first season of Daredevil is one of the greatest seasons of television I've ever seen.
Yes, sir.
Right. So they immediately greenlit, and the fact that we knew we had, I think Jessica Jones' first season was the next one, and then Luke Cage was on deck after that, or was it Daredevil season 2 before that?
I don't remember the order, man.
I think Daredevil season 2.
Daredevil season 2, and then Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, shall we just go into these series by series? Should we? I mean, how do we want to do this? Do we want to go chronological order?
Yeah, let's go chronological.
All right. So chronological order. Daredevil season 1's the first one. Comes out in April of 2015. I don't know about you guys. I watched it that first weekend, and I think I watched it pretty much. I found out it was out on Friday, and I watched like the first 3 episodes because I didn't find out till like Friday at like 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So I think I watched it till like the first 3-4 episodes. I don't remember exactly, and then I just finished watching it on Saturday.
All right. I don't really remember how long it took me to start watching. I know I watched it pretty soon after it came out, and I don't remember how long it took me to finish it, but it was great.
Yeah, I knocked that shit out the first day it fucking came out. I saw it. It went.
Actually,
I got home from work on Friday, and I just binged that shit all the way to Saturday, and now I was done with it.
I mean, I don't blame you, bro.
I think, Pedro, you might have been the reason I found out it was out. Because I think it was like we were hanging out at Marco's or something, and you were like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm staying home because Daredevil season 1 is out," and we all went like, "Wait, Daredevil season 1 is out?" So when I got home, I started watching it as soon as I got home, and then I was like, I just couldn't stay awake anymore, so I went to bed and finished it the next day.
Yo, episode 2 sold me on that fucking whole series, bro. Episode 2 was the one-shot, the one-shot fight scene.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is something you don't see ever, and it became a staple for that show.
Yeah, they repeated it. Not every show.
No, yeah, every season they had one episode.
Every season of Daredevil, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But didn't they also do it? I remember Luke Cage.
No,
when he busts into the drug house. Didn't they do a similar scene where like that you go with him all the way from when he goes into the house to where he like grabs the cash and all that and then comes out?
Fuck, I don't remember that. The only thing from Luke Cage, because I wasn't a huge fan of Luke Cage, my favorite thing was Luke Cage was it Danny Rand and Luke Cage fighting to Wu-Tang. Remember that shit?
I love all the hip hop references in Luke Cage, all of them. Yeah. It's a very hip hop influenced show.
Yeah, well, that's the characters. That's Danny Rand and Luke, or that's their whole thing.
Yeah,
but I don't think any other show did the one shot. I think it was only Daredevil that did it, and they did it really good. Amazingly, the first one. The second one kind of lackluster, and the third one they killed it in the hospital. Remember where he was just like
the prison?
Was it the prison? I remember there being like a hospital bed and shit like that. I don't know.
I mean, there could have been like a gurney. Prisons have hospital areas.
Oh, I guess it was a prison, but whatever. He was in some facility. Yeah. And he was constantly being like locked out of doors and shit, and it was so dope. And not to mention, Daredevil season 3 was so fucking amazing. Like,
wasn't that season 3 for Daredevil? That scene?
Yeah. That's 3. 2 was
getting ahead of ourselves, dude.
Yeah, it's season 1 is Daredevil and the Kingpin.
Yeah.
Season 2, they introduce Bullseye, right? Or was that season 3?
That was season 3, and season 2 was Punisher.
And Elektra,
correct.
Yeah. Which then that story gets wrapped up in the Defenders, and it's so. But we were going in chronological order, and we're jumping ahead. So Daredevil season 1, not only an amazing like portrayal, kind of true gritty, realistic way almost to do a character like Daredevil. But the Kingpin,
Yeah,
just
Amazing.
I like that
uh,
they do origin stories for these guys, right?
yeah.
Like they didn't like get too deep in their origin story, but they do show you their origins and how they become
Well,
how
they give you
yeah
flashbacks,
yeah. And,
and
they show you how Daredevil gets his first suit and all that stuff,
yeah. Um,
which is cool.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, the fact that it's an entire build up to him getting the suit at the end of the season,
Hmm.
I love. The fact that like he loses the suit in season 3,
That's
and he
I was gonna say that. I don't
yeah.
like the suit. I thought the suit kind of like it made it too cheesy. And season 3, where he was just doing the Muay Thai raps and the fucking bandana over. I thought that shit was so dope.
I don't know, bro. I like the suit. It was subtle. It wasn't like an over the top
Yeah,
superhero
but I,
costume.
I feel like in context for what the show wasn't very comic book y. It was more like an action thriller type of situation. And then you have a guy in a suit and like he's fighting dudes who are just like, business guys in business suits. It's like it's not like comic booky. So it felt more true to its form when he went back to like the street level shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
and I can understand that. I just part of me is like I totally get why a guy who's going out and fighting crime would need
Hmm.
some sort of like armor to protect him. And
Especially
I
if you're
thought
getting
that
shot at.
suit, yeah, and I thought the suit was a good blend of like here's a protective suit that will protect you from like blades and small arms fire,
Hmm.
while at the same time being like, well, since everybody's calling you the devil of Hell's Kitchen, let's give you some horns so that you pull off this devil look.
Yeah.
um, which was a nice subtle way. But I think like season 1, you go back to that, and the guy that steals the show is Vincent D'Onofrio as
hell
Kingpin.
yeah, hell
Oh
yeah,
yeah, dude. He fucking murked it.
I mean,
killed that guy with a car door, bro. What?
right from that moment forward, it's like holy shit. Because you look at him and he's playing this like timid, soft-spoken kind of guy, and you're
Yeah.
like how is this guy the kingpin of crime? And then all of a sudden, like he just like
He snaps.
yeah, and then
Hmm.
it's like holy crap, man, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't get that
That
guy angry.
that
That's
show is hard to talk about season per season because I feel like the build up for the characters are so good leading up to season 3. It was just
Mhm.
like Kingpin saved for me that show in season 3. Season 3, I thought it was kind of like, oh, it's all right, and then you get his like his transformation. It's so fucking nice. It's so good, and you see more of his interaction with his wife and shit, and
Yeah.
how there's like a problem there. Oh my god, it's so dope. It's so
the way
fucking
he's
dope.
playing the FBI the entire
Yeah, it's so
time.
good. It's so good.
I mean, and there's such good character arc like throughout that it's it's the seasons kind of blend together a little bit because they continue those storylines. They don't like, oh, okay, that story's over and here's a new story. It's like, no,
Yeah,
it's
it's
remember this
still
stuff that was happening. Like
yeah.
Hmm.
it has consequences, it has
Yeah,
ramifications.
it's like real life. It's like just because you turned the page on that chapter doesn't mean it goes away. You know what I mean? You're still dealing with the shit. My only issue with the reason why I don't remember season 2 that well is because I felt like that was more shoehorned in to be like the ramp into Defenders. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
Which is weird because it came out before Luke Cage.
Yeah.
So you still had Luke Cage going into that, and you still had Iron Fist.
Yep.
Like so,
Hmm.
and I think Jessica Jones season 2 came out before that, or let me
No,
double
I
check.
don't think that. I don't think that.
Defenders
No.
is August 2017. Yeah, okay, it's before
Yeah.
season 2 of Jessica
Yeah.
Jones, but you still had you had Daredevil season 1, Jessica Jones, then Daredevil season 2, then Luke Cage,
Then
and then
Iron
it
Fist.
looks like Iron Fist comes out after that,
Yeah. And then
and
it was
then
the
you get the
Defenders.
Defenders.
Yeah.
So it's
Wait, wait,
like
wait, wait. Season 2, didn't they have a Stitch or Twitch, whatever his name
Stick.
was? Stick. Was that his name?
Yeah,
His
Stick.
mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Oh
was
yeah.
the whole plot for that season, right? It was Stick teaching
It
him.
it was a combination of there's Stick because Stick knows of like what's coming, and they're trying to like
The Hand.
yeah, the hand, and then there's Elektra showing up back in his life.
Hmm.
There's
Electro though.
yeah, there's the whole thing with the Punisher's trial.
Uh-huh.
It's
Oh wait, that's the best thing to come out of season 2
Yeah.
of Daredevil.
The
It's
Punisher?
fucking Punisher, because Punisher nailed it, bro. It was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's his name? What's that actor's name again, bro? I always forget his name.
John Bernthal?
Shane.
John Bernthal. Shane. Yeah, John Bernthal, bro. That guy murked.
Dude,
Punisher,
honestly, they should really just get all the actors that play, except for Danny Rand. You could forget that guy. But everybody else, they should just get all the same characters and bring them to Disney Plus, because
Yeah.
I think all of them nailed, especially Kingpin. You cannot replace Kingpin or Daredevil. They did way too good.
Yeah.
Everyone else, arguably, they did good, but Daredevil and Kingpin, you cannot replace those two. They are perfect.
And Punisher.
Man,
And
Oh yeah,
Punisher.
and Punisher.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
you know what? I really wouldn't even say bring them on to Disney Plus. I would say let's bring Matt Murdock into Spider-Man the next movie
Absolutely.
as like Peter Parker's lawyer,
I would love it.
because
I would love it.
mean, well, because like the way that Spider-Man Far From Home ended, with basically them using the video footage or whatever to like out him. Like let's bring Matt Murdock in to like find a way to maybe try to clear his name, try to help him out. Like, and you've already got an established Matt Murdock that everybody loves.
Yeah.
And you've got you can bring in Foggy, you can bring in.
That's my only problem is his secondary characters, his like supporting characters in that show. I don't think they're good enough for film. He's good enough for film, and so is Kingpin.
Do not say anything bad about Foggy.
Oh,
That's Fulton from the Mighty Ducks, bro. He
That's
will
cool.
he will shoot a puck at you.
That's fine, but I still don't think he's. I don't think he would do well on film. I don't know. It's just my opinion, but I think that Daredevil. I think his performance as that character. For a couple of times, I was watching that show. I was like, "Oh man, I forget that he's not actually blind. Like he plays that off so well. Like so many times, he's just like doing like weird mannerisms that just. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. He's not blind. So,
but yeah, man. Like let's bring him in. There's no reason why like you can't throw Luke Cage into the background through a fight in New York. Let's reintroduce them that way. Like
I'd be so down.
Like that was always one of my things when I remember sitting in the theaters watching the first like Avengers movie, and I was like, bro, that's like when the Avengers are fighting in New York, that's like the perfect place for like just a random background cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that we find out like later in Infinity War that or in Endgame that like the Ancient One was like fighting off aliens or whatever like on the rooftop of the Sanctum. Like there could have very easily, you could have had a Daredevil fighting some crime and fighting off an alien guy, or you could have had a Luke Cage putting a guy through a wall. Like
I remember.
But I think. Go ahead.
I remember when I used to watch X-Men, the cartoon, when I was younger. There was, I forget which episode it was because I was fucking a long last time ago. But there was this one episode where like the whole world is like in an apocalyptic kind of thing, and all the you see they show cameos of all the superheroes fighting whoever the fuck it was. Like they show Spider-Man going through New York. They show Iron Man flying there, and those guys were never in the.
Yeah, but I would. I
thought
think
that was really cool. Like shit like that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of like way above their pay grade. I think that this right now, what's happening with Spider-Man and that world, that whole universe right now, is the perfect time to introduce these people, because now you have a problem with a street level superhero, even though in the movies they make him, way above that. But you have a problem with the street hero, and now it's like a kind of situation where you all kind of have to band together and help each other. You know what I mean? I think now is the best time to introduce these street level superheroes, and like make it like the cartoon. You have Spider-Man be buddies with Matt Murdock because he finds out immediately that he's Spider-Man. Well, I mean, it's already out. Never mind. Throw that whole idea out the window. I forgot. But that's the cartoon, and like it's like a whole camaraderie of street level superheroes. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So like, pretty consensus. We all don't like Danny Rand, the guy that plays Danny Rand, right?
No, definitely not. It's not that I don't like him.
Yeah,
I think him as an actor, because he was in Game of Thrones, and I think he did
Uh-huh.
great in Game of Thrones. I think that the fucking script for that
I think it's,
show
yeah,
was
it's the
just
way they wrote the character.
yeah, it was
Because
Yeah.
I
just
also
so
have
bad.
no, I really don't have a problem with like the way he played the character either. Like if he'd been given the right material and the right scripts, I think he would have done a great job.
Okay.
I think like you get to season one and it's like every single episode, 4 times an episode. I'm Danny Rand. I'm the Iron Fist. I'm here to like stop the hand.
Yeah.
Like dude, like first of all, you're not an idiot. Like you grew up for some time in the Western world. You have to agree that you must sound like a total nut job. Second of all, like if you keep introducing yourself to like everyone as I'm Danny Rand, I'm here to stop the hand. What if that guy works for the hand and you've just outed yourself to him
That's
and
true.
like and now it's like he's gonna go get like 20 of his buddies and come back for you.
Oh,
And
I'm not.
damn,
I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with how much of a bitch they made him in that show. Homeboy's a fucking baby back bitch in that show. God damn, man. Like
well,
Yeah.
it's one of those things
he
where you always
doesn't
gotta.
do anything. He uses his power to break down doors. Like for real. Come on. It's so stupid.
He's the greatest locksmith in the world.
Yeah,
But
it's all he was doing. He's like, oh shit, there's a locked door. Hold on, I got this. Pop. Oh damn, there's a badass motherfucker. Hold on, let me just fight him and get my ass whooped. Get the fuck outta here.
Also, if he's gonna be introducing himself a million times, they missed a great opportunity to play Jay-Z's public service announcement intro. Allow me to reintroduce myself. That would have been great. And it's such a hip hop influenced show. They didn't do it.
No, see,
I'm
that's
upset.
the other thing. I think it should have been
I'm-
season.
I am triggered.
I think it should have been season one. Season one Iron Fist, season one Luke Cage, and then what's the name of their group? The Power.
The Defenders.
No, the two of them. It was the Power.
oh,
Power Man and Iron Fist.
Power Man and Iron Fist.
But they had a name.
Well,
Whatever.
that's-
They should.
was
That show
because-
should have been that.
You mean Heroes for Hire?
Years of our hire. That's what it should have been. And it should have been the whole thing about these two guys just starting up a business, just like I think season 2 of Luke Cage is what he starts doing that, right?
No, because season 2 of Luke Cage was the last season.
Yeah. Didn't he do that? Heroes for Hire?
He had no, because what he winds up happening is basically that he winds up realizing that he's not getting anywhere fighting the crime, so he's just gonna take over it.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Yeah.
So it's just one of these. Like, he's like, if I can't stop the criminals, then I might as well control them, because I think what happens is when he takes out Mariah, basically all the other gangs from all around start trying to like basically come into the turf, and it starts like a turf war. So he just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take over, and I'm gonna be the head of the crime family here. But it's one of those things where they never actually did the Heroes for Hire, even though
They should
that
have.
team up episode was considered to be like one of
Super dope.
yeah, and one of the best episodes, the one that everybody loved.
Yo, no lie. The people that they give like no chances to usually kill it. Dude, season 1 of Iron Fist, I think RZA directed one of the episodes where they did the chambers, the 36 chambers of the dojo, whatever the fuck shit is.
Yeah.
Where he was like fighting different dudes inside the warehouse that he ran.
Yeah.
And that shit was fucking gnarly. It was so cool. And
Well,
then
RZA's dope as fuck, bro.
right? And then
Yeah.
the next episode after that, it goes back to him being a bitch, just getting his ass kicked by everything and shit. I just read a comment here. Who's the hottest babe in
In the Netflix Marvel universe.
Bro, Karen Page? No, sir. What's that Japanese chick that becomes the
Iron
Iron
Fist's girlfriend. I forget her
Yeah,
name, but yes,
her
I
name.
agree.
hottest?
The White Tiger or whatever.
Or the other Iron Fist she becomes at the end,
Yeah, she becomes Iron Fist.
Yeah.
along with like 4 other dudes. So dope.
Was it like that? I know that she gets the Iron Fist. I know he goes back. He finds like the old
That's a weird sentence.
6-shooters from like a previous.
Yeah. Rand or something like that. His guns.
Yeah, something like that.
That's from the Immortal Iron Fist storyline, and that in that storyline, there's like a lineage, and there's different and
Is
there's
that
different Iron
is
Fists
that girl
for.
playing Mulan?
Is she? I don't
I
know.
don't think so. I don't think
No.
so. No.
Let's
Alright.
see here. Iron Fist.
Come on, Eben DB. You should know this.
Yeah, you should know this off the top of your head.
Yeah, I should know this off the top of my head. Listen, bro, every once
Yeah,
in a
man.
while, there's not enough
Colleen.
RAM.
That's her name, Colleen.
Yeah.
Colleen.
Played
Yeah.
by Jessica Henwick. And
Yeah,
filmography.
she was my favorite. She was my favorite.
She was definitely the hottest.
Negative. She is not Mulan.
I would know, bro.
she's-
I got a super crush on her.
Louis
Yeah.
lied to us.
But apparently, she is going to be in the Godzilla versus Kong movie,
Dope.
and and apparently was announced she's going to be in Matrix 4.
Ooh.
Dope.
So
Matrix stopped being good after 1. I
Bro.
said it. There you go.
I'm looking forward to that day, bro. It's Matrix and I think Bill and Ted, or is it no?
Oh, Bill and Ted.
No. It's Matrix and
by the way, did you guys
John
see
Wick.
that video? That video?
Oh,
clip?
really?
same day. Yeah.
Did you guys see the video clip? Yeah, the guy that was interviewing Keanu, and
Mhm.
obviously Keanu, Bill and Ted made him famous. Obviously, Keanu played Ted, and the guys ask him the question, and he's like, "So, is it hard for you to get back into that mindset? To go back and connect with the voice of Bill?" And he looks at him and he goes, "I played Ted."
Yeah.
And the guy just like drops his microphone, stands up, walks out of the frame. And Keanu's just like, "Damn, man, you just lost all your credibility." Just like it's freaking like, look it up. It was hilarious. Like, I feel so bad for the guy because
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I feel like if I got the opportunity to interview Keanu, I would probably be nervous as hell. So like, and I feel like, yeah, 9 times out of 10, I would be like, yeah, of course Keanu played Ted, but in that moment in front of him, probably jittery because you're nervous. Like, I feel like that's an easy mistake to make by accident.
But did he actually play Ted?
Or was he Ted?
Exactly. Or was he just Ted? I bet you when he gets home and he kicks his shoes off and he gets in his sweatpants, he just turns into Ted. He's like, "Whoa, be excellent to one another." You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I like that you think Keanu owns sweatpants.
Hell yeah. Who doesn't?
I
Be
don't,
real.
I,
Who doesn't own
I,
sweatpants?
yeah, I don't think Keanu owns sweatpants.
Yeah, I think he
I
does.
think because if I had a body like that, I'd probably just walk around in my boxers.
I'm wearing sweatpants right now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Sweatpants are the tits.
I wear sweatpants too, but I'm a 300 plus pound man, and I don't have a body like Keanu Reeves.
Damn, I didn't know Eben was so racist against sweatpants right now.
Yeah, for real, man.
Damn, bro.
Hey, bro. Let's just say that if you're a guy, they're not a very flattering look. And I don't.
B-boys wear sweatpants all the time.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, he just doesn't get it. He
And
just
I
doesn't
still-
get it.
And I still say they're not a very flattering look.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
no.
doesn't
I
get it.
wear sweatpants every day while I'm at work. Because I'm
But I
taking
think it's
advantage of the
working
work
out.
from home. Yeah. But if I was at home,
Keanu not only owns sweatpants, he has his own fucking custom made sweatpants. It says
Ooh, that's right.
that says the one on his butt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Louis says no. Louis says that they're Ninja Turtle boxer shorts. Oh wait,
Speaking of Ninja Turtles, going
He's
back
talking
to
about
the topic at hand. Speaking of Ninja Turtles, going back to the topic at hand, did you guys know that? Well, Eben definitely did. This is directly to you. Did you know that Ninja Turtles was a mockery of Daredevil? The Foot Clan was supposed
I
to
heard
be the
that.
hand.
Really?
Yeah, instead of the hand, it's the foot.
The foot.
It's the
Oh, that makes sense.
it's the inner monologue type of comic book style, right? Although that they could have gotten that from Batman too.
No, but come on, direct reference of the foot. Come on,
No, yeah,
that's like
like-
immediate. Yeah, but
The foot stinks though.
yeah, you don't wash it properly.
Well, we said the foot stinks, not my foot stinks.
Yeah. There you go. Marco says, Keanu
There you go.
sweatpants cost 10 gold coins.
Yep,
There you
and
go.
they add 10 to agility.
Oh man. that you know what that's something that when I think maybe when John Wick 4 comes out,
Mhm.
we might jump into that universe too because
I haven't seen any
Yes.
of those movies, man.
Dude.
I was actually watching an interview with like the guys that like created it,
Mhm.
and somebody asked them about like the gold coins, like and they're like, "There's no exchange rate, like it's just things just like the gold coin is just like your pass of saying like I belong here."
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where like, you go to the Continental, you pay with a gold coin. You
Yeah.
go to the bar, you pay with a gold coin. But it's not like you pay with a gold coin, you only get the one drink. You just forever long you're there, you pay with the gold coin. Regardless of
Ninja
how many drinks you had.
Louis comments Ninja Turtles should make a cameo in Daredevil. Well, that's not happening because it's owned by Disney now, so forget that.
They don't have gold coins. I know. Whenever I have a gold coin, there's always chocolate inside of it.
There you go.
That's nice.
That makes me happy.
There you go, man.
Anyway, moving back into Daredevil talk.
right.
The season, what was it? Season 2 was the one with Elektra. What did you guys feel about Elektra?
I like the actress.
Yeah, I thought she did.
I find it, I find it so weird when you've got an established character and like they, for an entire season you said this is this guy, this is who he is, and then all of a sudden you introduce a character and that character just stops acting the way they've always acted. And I get it, like I've had friends that they start dating someone and completely change who they were and stop acting the way they've always been. But I kind of feel like it's a trope that gets done.
He's getting shamed for not having watched John Wick. Xiomara, Marco, shaming Pedro. Marco says you're not even his friend, bro. Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Marco unfriended you for not watching John Wick.
That's a hard call out, Lopes.
But I've been playing video games. I haven't seen that shit.
Listen, I think Pedro's just been waiting for the series to finish so that he can.
No, I haven't. I just never.
Trying to save you, Pedro.
No. I'll explain. I'll explain myself. I have a legitimate reason. Check it out. I don't buy DVDs anymore. I don't do that anymore, and I only watch movies if they're on Netflix. If I go to the movie theater, it's for a very specific reason. When John Wick 1 came out, it wasn't as hyped as it is now, so I never saw it.
Okay.
John Wick 2 came out, and it was super hyped. I really wanted to see it, but I wasn't going to see it until I saw 1. It's still on.
Do you have Prime?
I do.
It might be on Prime.
Not for free. I have to pay for that shit, baby.
It's gotta be streaming somewhere.
Yeah.
Illegally, but I don't do that, bro. I'm a good boy.
No. Through totally legitimate means, it's gotta be streaming somewhere.
If it is, I really want to see it.
Hang on.
We'll find it for you.
Do it.
I've been what is it currently available?
Yo, speaking of shit that I do actually watch,
it's on Hulu.
I don't got Hulu. Fuck.
All right, well, but it is streaming somewhere legitimately.
I'll find it.
You just don't have it. Sorry. You know what? I've got them on Blu-ray.
Last time I was at your place, I was like, "Yo."
I
mentioned it one time, but then I forgot.
When the quarantine is over, you come over. We'll make a day out of it.
That's it. I want to do that. You know what movie I did see though? Because I don't watch a lot of shit anymore. But I saw it was on Netflix. Green Hornet. Not bad, bro. Not bad.
With Seth Rogen?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Really?
It wasn't like it wasn't something spectacular, but it was like a superhero comedy, and there was a lot of throwbacks to the show, which I like. That's about it. And Kano, whatever his name is,
Kato.
Dope. Kato. That's his name.
Who played him?
I don't know, but he was dope.
Kato?
Yeah.
Kato was an unknown actor. Someone they hired was like, "Oh, we could throw this guy in here." But yeah, Seth Rogen obviously was the one they built the movie around.
Yeah.
Kind of the opposite of the show, where the show was like, "Hey, Bruce Lee, let's give him a show."
Yeah.
But in the movie, it was like, "Yeah, we'll build the movie around Seth Rogen, but then we'll bring in this guy who's like does a really good job." And not to mention, isn't the bad guy in that movie?
Yep.
Freaking.
Yep.
Christopher
Glorious Bastards. Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
And he plays that sadistic weirdo again. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
that name, the German guy?
Yeah, I don't
Christoph
know.
Waltz.
There you go. Yeah,
so good. So good.
but to the point where like I think the guy that played Kato, like I don't even think he's done any other American movies.
I don't think so either, but he was really fucking cool in that movie. I mean, really cool in asterisks. Like the movie was okay. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was still fucking. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
All right.
You know what it was? I think it was the car. The car really did it for me. I love that car. Is so dope.
The Black Beauty.
Yeah, that shit is so dope.
Well, the Black Beauty's always been a dope car. It's always been one of those like cool like movie slash television cars. The Black Beauty.
Yeah.
It's like a customized. Uh, it's not a Cadillac.
It looks like a Cadillac.
Yeah.
It looks
Right,
so
but
dope. It's so dope, man.
Is it the car from Entourage?
No. Let me,
I don't know.
moment. Let me. You guys talk amongst yourselves. while
But
I take a little-
but the car, dude, the car has that green lights on the head. It's such a cool looking car, man. Every scene with the car in it was super dope.
Imperial Crown, I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's a Chrysler Imperial Crown.
There you go.
Obviously, that's been customized.
Yeah.
But I mean, this show comes out in '66, which is the same year that Batman comes out with that beautiful Batmobile that came out.
Yeah.
You know, I think
The one that lost its wheel and Joker.
and the Joker got away. But yeah, there's that. There's the Batmobile. There's obviously the car from Starsky and Hutch. I think is another '60s car.
Yeah. Eleanor.
18.
No, not Eleanor. Starsky and Hutch had that like red.
No, I'm talking about Eleanor.
Oh well, but
I'm
I'm trying to stay like in the '60s, or was
Well,
Starsky
that car,
and Hutch
that's
the
60
'70s?
car.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, shows. I'm talking about shows. That's '80s. A-Team is '80. When you get to the
Is it?
'80s, the 80s is amazing. The '80s.
Wait.
The van from
18 is the 80s? I thought that shit was the 70s.
Nah, dude. A-Team is the '80s.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
shit.
80s.
You've got the van from the A-Team. You've got the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard. You've got the freaking the what is this, a Firebird or a Trans Am?
We're talking about 80s cars?
Yeah, we're talking about the car from Knight Rider.
Knight Rider, yeah.
But is it a Trans Am or Fire? No, the Trans Am I think was the Burt Reynolds movie.
Magnum PI?
No, Magnum PI had the Ferrari.
Oh, okay. Hawaii
Ferrari
Five-O?
Hawaii Five-O is I think '70s.
Okay.
That's another episode we can do is movie
Yeah.
movie and TV cars.
Shit, we got so far away from Daredevil again. let's reel it back. Let's reel it back.
He doesn't even have a car.
That's the nature of this show.
Oh, I bet you Daredevil did have a car in the comic books. In the comic books, everything had a motorcycle, car, any kind of vehicle for any kind of terrain.
The spider buggy.
The spider buggy. It was so stupid.
It's like, why does first of all, Spider-Man lives in New York.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen New York traffic?
Yeah, why? Well, I mean, the buggy, just to defend that, the buggy could climb on walls, which made no sense.
Because obviously, because it was Spider-Man's car.
Yeah. So stupid.
Which was like, okay, I get it. You want to sell toys. We got you.
That's what they did.
Our entire childhood, like we were talking about this during the tournament shows, like our entire childhood, if you go back and watch any of the cartoons and stuff that we grew up on, all they were half-hour commercials for toys. That's all they were.
Well, I
Like
looked up Daredevil's car, and there's a Hot Wheels Daredevil car.
No, there's definitely a car for every superhero. Wolverine had a car. It was like a doom buggy with claws on it. It was stupid as fuck.
No,
But you know what? They all lose to the Thanos copter.
That was a real thing too. It's just a stupid looking yellow copter with Thanos written on the tail.
Golden helicopter. The Batman TV show by itself, the
Yes.
Batmobile, the Bat motorcycle with the sidecar on it.
Mhm.
But to
Bat
be real,
copter.
he kind of needs those things.
Yeah,
'Cause
the
he
bat
can't
boat.
swing, he can't fly, he can't do it. He needs all these stupid cars. So it kind of makes sense. But Spidey? Boy, come on now.
Well, it just
Homeboy can
never-
just swing across the entire fucking city.
it's like it makes no sense. Like Spider-Man can swing from one end of New York to the other end of New York, like within a few minutes. It makes no sense for him to need a car.
Nope.
You know, it's one of those things. But We again we keep on pulling away from the topic at hand.
It's funny. It's funny.
What do you
Yeah.
think traffic is like in Hell's Kitchen?
I've been to
Traffic in
Hell's
Hell's Kitchen?
Kitchens. Hell's Kitchen is a weird ass place.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably not anymore.
well, okay.
It's
So
It's probably gentrified right by now.
it's obviously it's not gridlock traffic the way you get like in like the downtown area of New York.
yeah.
Because I've been to the downtown area of New York, traffic does not move.
Yeah.
Like you're literally like you're sitting in the car for like 6 hours just to get
Yeah,
past a light.
that's your first mistake. You're in a car in New York. You don't do
Yeah.
that in Manhattan. You just walk and subway.
Well, they, my family was taking me on a tour of the city. Well, what am I gonna do? Like, yeah, let's not do this. And like, you sit down in the car. You say, "Oh, thank you for taking me around. Thank you for letting me stay at your place."
Yeah.
And you shut up and then you go along with it.
Yeah, I could just imagine it. You're probably stuck on Broadway for like 5 hours, just stuck.
It's like, listen, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna catch this Broadway show. I'll hop out and I'll meet you at the end of the block because that's where you'll be by then.
Yeah.
Uh,
But no, in
uh,
Hell's Kitchen, it was I've
well,
in
so
real
Hell's
life
Kitchen-
I've been there, and it's just like
First of all,
it's
isn't it
just
like 3
weird
blocks?
because it's actually called Hell's Kitchen. So like street signs and like Hell's Kitchen Fire Department. It's just a weird name to give someplace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think the fire department in Hell's Kitchen is very active, right? Because
It's like, well, just to add to that joke, I didn't see any fucking fire trucks in the department while I was there. It was like they were always out.
there you go,
There you go.
putting out fires in hell.
But it's one of those things where it's just odd because I think Hell's Kitchen is literally like let me see. I'm looking at Google Images right now, and it is 20 block. It's 20 blocks. Is what it is.
I think it's southwest from Central Park. It's just like it's real close to Central Park.
Yeah, but it's like it's 20 blocks, and it basically goes from Central Park, which is on 58th Street, to 34th Street. It's got Central Park's on one corner, the Javits Center's on the other.
What's the Javits Center?
It's their convention center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then let me see if I pull out a little bit. Let's do because we're talking about Hell's Kitchen. We've also got to mention Harlem.
Right now, Evan looks like Oracle from Batman. Let me get you the schematics of this floor plan.
So then Harlem is basically on the other end
that's
of
up north.
Central Park. Harlem looks to be about 3 times the size of Hell's Kitchen.
Well, because you have different sections of it. You have Spanish Harlem, West Harlem.
Yeah.
Right, but Luke Cage is the hero of Harlem. They don't really specify more than that.
I don't think he was doing much in Spanish Harlem. Just throwing that one out there.
Well, I don't know what he was doing. There's also East Harlem. There's
East Harlem is Spanish Harlem.
Okay, so then it's not in the map that I'm looking at. The map that I'm looking at just says Harlem.
Yeah, but it's like it's like Kendall and West Kendall. It's the same shit.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's like I'm assuming that all of the shows take place in this area around Central Park.
I'm assuming
that's the weird thing. Most of the superheroes in that show are all in Hell's Kitchen because that's where Danny Rand is. That's where Daredevil is, and that's where Jessica Jones is. The only one that's not there
is Luke
Cage, who's in Harlem, who's all the way on the other side of the city.
Well, I feel like from what I'm seeing here, no, it's not on the other side of the city because the island is much bigger than that.
Well, it's up north. It's north of
they're just like in like the Manhattan Island, because New York obviously has the 5 boroughs and all of that. But in the middle, in the Manhattan area, it's like you've got Daredevil, who's on the south side of the Central Park. You've got Luke Cage, who's on the north side, and I kind of feel like Danny Rand must be somewhere in the middle, and so must Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones and Danny Rand. Well, Danny Rand's building is in Hell's Kitchen, or actually, I don't know. It might be in Wall Street. Now that I think about it, which is way south. but
Yeah.
Jessica Jones is like uh, really close to Daredevil's law office. At least in the comic books. I don't know, how they did in the show. Even in the video game, everything was like pretty close together. There's Spider-Man video game,
Cool.
and Spider-Man is just Manhattan. Period. That boy is all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I
he's
mean,
kind of a big deal.
with his ability to swing from end to end, I mean, you kind of
He's,
Which technically, so did Daredevil have.
he's a
They
swinger.
gave him that ability with the thing. Anyway, Daredevil season 1 and 3 were fantastic. 2 was pretty good, and then that leads us to Iron Fist. Do we want to talk about Iron Fist?
I mean, it's part of it.
I
Part of
mean,
it. You can trash it if you want.
It's
yeah,
so bad.
I feel like we kind of have to. It's
Yeah,
just
man.
one of those things where it's like,
Well, you guys, any listeners of the show already know Iron Fist is one of my faves. And boy, oh boy, did they just massacre my boy, dude. They ruined him. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
they
I,
murdered my boy.
They
I didn't know.
ruined him, bro.
I didn't know anything about Iron Fist before I saw the show. I didn't even know that character existed.
Okay, so then
So
let's do this. Tell me you describe to me what you think Iron Fist is, and then me and Eben are gonna try to come correct on it.
I mean, the show explains what he is. I just thought they did a shitty job of.
Right. The show did not
What?
do Iron Fist anything. That wasn't Iron Fist.
Yeah. So he's.
So in the show, they made him.
Is he not a rich kid in the comic?
He is a rich kid, but the way he portrays being a rich kid is fucking completely different. He's not a moron. He's very like childish. You know what I mean?
In the comic?
Yeah, he gets excited about shit and like he likes to spend money. Like he's just very immature. That's
Well,
it.
keep in mind that this is, but in the comics as well as in the show, this is someone who he didn't have a childhood.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking it away. But in the show, he wasn't childish. He was just stupid. Like everything, like to your credit, you said he got back to New York and all of a sudden he just forgot how things work. Like, dude, you know what I mean? A little bit of common sense.
Like he wasn't a toddler when
Yeah.
the accident happened and all of that. He was, he was like what, like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
That's old enough that you got like some kind of like memory of like how life was.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Not to mention like the monks aren't idiots too.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were like, listen, when you go out and back into the real world, like.
Well, they didn't tell him to go. They didn't think he was ever going back in the comics. I don't remember the show that well. In the comics, he was supposed to stay there forever and defend it against the Hand because the Hand always comes and try to invade. And he said, "Fuck that! I'm going back because they're invading New York." And I love New York. He remembers enough about New York to love that city, to want to go over there and defend it. But when he go over there, he's just like a fish out of water. He has no idea what shoes are. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? Get that fuck out of here, bro.
It's not that he has no idea what shoes are. It's that he's just like, yeah, I'm used to walking around barefoot. I'm gonna keep on walking around.
Yeah,
barefoot.
I'm being exaggerated, but you get what I'm saying. The guy gets back and he's just like he doesn't know how like normal life works.
Yeah.
Which isn't my biggest gripe about the show. My biggest gripe about the show is that in the comic books, he has these two personalities. He has Danny Rand, who's very immature, and that's why he gets along with Luke Cage so well, because it's like a dynamic. One's super immature and one's super mature, and they kind of like cancel each other out and make like a really cool team. And then you have Iron Fist, which once he gets going, boy, your ass is whooped. He's just gonna beat your ass, and that's without his fucking power. Like in the comic book universe, he's the best martial arts fighter in the entire universe. Like you can't beat him, and that's without his Iron Fist.
That's
power.
without the Iron Fist. Yeah, that's just him straight up being an ass kicker.
Yeah, he can just whoop your ass. And then in the show, he's getting his ass kicked by goons. Like, no, that guy should have been like dancing around and be like, "Listen, guys, I don't want to fight," and just disarming them, and then walk away.
They should have got somebody that's a little more versed in martial arts, so they can do better choreography.
Yeah.
I feel like.
But the other thing to that too is like the Iron Fist is not an erection. It's not like you use it and then it's like, okay, now I gotta recover and I gotta get it back. It's like It's like no, it's like it once you turn the Iron Fist on, like it's on.
Yeah.
You're swatting bullets. You're knocking people down. You're breaking through walls. Like it's
You don't do that with your erections.
it depends on what time in the morning it is. If it's the morning one, the morning one's pretty powerful. Uh, but no, it's like the way they have it in the show is like he uses it to break through a wall, and then he's like, okay, now I gotta like concentrate to get it back, and it's like
Oh, that was accurate, but it wasn't as
it depends. It
exaggerated.
depends. I think it depends on which series you're reading, because if you go
Right.
back and you read classic Iron Fist, he's using it all the time.
I'm basing it off my favorite, which was Immortal. I think Immortal nailed it like the best. But in Immortal, what he does is he does have to charge up his chi key, whatever you want to call it, so he can get his powers not back, but like full force. But that's only because in that storyline, he's in the tournament of like seven realms or some shit like that. I forget what it's called, but he has to fight 7 different Iron Fist heroes. It's not
like,
Iron Fist, but it's like each realm's Iron Fist.
Is it like
And
Mortal Kombat?
Kind of like that, yeah. And you have to fight them to see who's the ultimate, power or ultimate being. So every time he goes into a fight, he wins, but he got his ass cooked. So he has to like meditate and heal himself with the Iron Fist power. That's why he's always doing that. Now I think they got that power, and they only got that aspect of it, and then they put it to everything. So he has to like charge his chi to punch a wall down. No, boy. That boy just gets his glowy hand and punches a wall whenever the fuck he wants. You know what I mean? He only has to use all that effort when he wants to do like big things. You know what I mean? Like move the planet or some shit like that. I'm exaggerating. He never did that. No, he never did that. I'm just kidding.
So I think we've we haven't touched really on Jessica Jones
Or Punisher.
Or Punisher. I mean Punisher. Well, he's the last one.
Wait, but let's actually talk about the show. The show has his bad guy is going to be his dad's murderer, which was his best friend, which is the same as the comic books, just that they made it so not interesting. I don't know.
Well, I like the actor. I believe what's his name? It's David Thewlis. No, not David Thewlis. It's the guy from 300. The guy who played Faramir. No, that's the villain.
I don't remember,
friend?
dude.
Harold
Talking
Meacham.
about the guy that was his best friend.
The guy is like his best friend's dad.
Yeah.
David Wenham. That's his name. Who is we know him from he was in 300. He plays the soldier, the one that loses an eye, and then Leonidas is like, no, you need to go. You need to tell them about what happened.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He's the guy that plays Faramir in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But he does such a good job because he's playing this like he should be dead, but the hand has been keeping him alive, and he's literally torn between the fact that like he's happy that Danny survived, but at the same time he's like, shit, but what does this mean for like the fact that Danny's the Iron Fist? Like, what does that mean for the hand, and how can I use it to my advantage and stuff like that? So and he does a good job. He's a good actor, and I wish.
I'm not knocking any of the acting in any of this review. I'm knocking on the decisions that were made to make the characters what they are.
Yeah.
Like his character was so boring to like Danny Rand. Like I understand what they're trying to go for. They're trying to make it like a family type of feud. Like, oh, how do I defeat somebody I love? I get that's like the angle they were going for, but I did not give a fuck. Like I just didn't give a shit. And then I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't give a fuck about that. Season 2, I think there was only 2 seasons of Iron Fist, right?
Yeah.
Or was it 3?
Yeah.
Season 2 was dope, where you get Davos. Davos was the coolest thing about season 2.
That's a more interesting storyline. The whole like foster sibling rivalry type of thing.
That was fucking dope.
And it makes more sense to me than the sibling relationship that you have going on in Jessica Jones.
Yep.
Because that oh god, Jessica, I so do not want to talk about Jessica Jones, but I know we'll get there.
Oh, we gotta.
Yeah. And let's try to speed things up a little bit because we are pushing on an hour already. So, okay, so
yeah, Davos was cool. The other thing was cool for season 2 was the introduction to the suit, but they never gave him the suit. But you had Randall, I think it was Randall Rand, who had the the headpiece, and he was fighting like Nazis or some shit in like a footage, an old footage. That shit looks sick as fuck, and they never did anything with it. And
I
then
mean,
they had the
it's
tournament
essentially the same costume that Daredevil was wearing, but like with eye
with
holes.
bandanas, with not bandanas, with the little Ryu flaps, whatever you call that shit, the Ninja Turtle flaps. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean the collar?
No, the flaps, the not the flaps, the ribbons behind.
Well, I was gonna say it's like when you watch Daredevil, see, like Daredevil's wearing that bandana, it comes down to his nose,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have eye holes because he doesn't need them.
Yeah.
But it's essentially like the same thing with
No,
like just the eye
yeah,
holes.
it's easy to make. It's just Netflix and the people behind that show didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Well,
They
we
just
don't know
didn't
if we
do it.
want to put we want to put the characters in costume, and like, well, why not? Like the movies obviously have demonstrated that people
Well,
are
the
okay with the
first
characters in
the
costume.
first thing that they messed up on, because the owner, I feel like the only reason why they never used the costumes is because that idiot, just like what you said before, went around town saying to everybody he's the Iron Fist. Like you don't need to hide your identity at that point. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I think that's the reason why they never used it. They just fucked it up from the start. But
Yeah.
they should have, because that last fight with Davos, where they were doing the tournament, where they both had the costume on, that shit was fucking dope. And then when they passed on the Iron Fist to the girl and the other guy, and then he got the guns, that show could have gone. That was straight out of Immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah.
If they kept going, they were just going to do Immortal Iron Fist, and I would have been so hyped. But they
And I
canceled
mean,
it.
and you know that eventually it would have wound up like him getting the Iron Fist back, and
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, yeah, the whole thing with the guns is a whole other character. He is another Iron Fist that puts the chi into the guns and he fires chi bullets. It's fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, Iron Fist no good. Sucked.
and again, I mean, it had its moments that I liked. It's just
Yeah, like Davos.
like it's weird, man, because these shows, for like as much as they do so well with like certain aspects of it, there's other things about it that like it's just like, man. First of all, instead of 13 episodes, like I think all of these series could have been like 10,
Yeah,
and you could have cut 3 episodes out of it.
yeah, a lot. There was a lot of filler.
Yeah, I don't mind having good background characters, but sometimes the storylines for the background characters, they don't lead anywhere, and all
Yeah.
they do is
Yeah.
distract from the main storyline,
Yep.
and that's where you get that like filler.
That happens a lot in Jessica Jones. A lot.
But you know what? Let's jump into Jessica Jones.
Well, I
I
can
just
talk
saw
about
it-
the first two. Third one, you guys
Well,
gonna have to tell me
yeah,
what happens.
the first one, it's been a while for me. The last 2, I just watched them this week in
Well,
preparation
the
for this.
first one was easily the best for Jessica Jones.
And
It
I
was
found
so
it-
good.
and I
Purple
found
Planet?
it the hardest to get through.
I loved it.
Of all of the Netflix Marvel shows, I found Jessica Jones the hardest one to get through.
Oh,
To the
no,
point where I
season
think it took
one,
me a month to watch it.
season one, I thought was dope with the Purple Man. That's like that was the most
Once-
sadistic bad guy I've ever seen.
Once the Purple Man becomes like a heavy part of the show, which I think is halfway through the season, then I found it very easy to get through. Because first of all, David Tennant just lights up a screen whenever he's on it. And then that character is so like deliciously evil
Yeah,
that like you just
But-
savor it.
but
It's
I feel
oh.
like that first season needed that build up for that, so that you give a shit about that character, or at least understand how fucked up that character is.
Yeah, but I understand that she's been through some shit, but it's like, man, I found her so like unlikable.
Well, yeah, you're
I
supposed
think
to.
I think they didn't really know how to build her character, like the whole character development aspect.
Like
of
how
the
to
show.
deal with the whole shit of like her having been abducted, enslaved, and all of that. Yeah, like
yeah,
that.
just like how do we get the fans to understand who Jessica Jones really is? I think they didn't really know how to do it, and so they tried to do too much, or maybe they felt like they had to do over explain or whatever like that. And that's why it took so long to get the actual storyline of the first season going.
I disagree. I think the way they did it, sure, they could have cut out a bunch of shit, but remember, they were trying to build up to other characters. They wanted you to give a shit about Luke Cage because Luke Cage was going to get his own series, so they had that whole little arc with her and Luke Cage, and then Luke Cage and his wife, where she kills his wife. It's like they were trying to build up other shows in the first,
which
first
I think was totally unnecessary.
I know, but I mean,
I
I
think-
understand why they did it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where like you could have introduced Luke, you could have had Luke leave for whatever reason he needed to leave for. The whole forcing the fact that like, oh, she's the one responsible for the death of his wife. Like, and then he doesn't, he gets mad at her and all of that, and until Purple Man puts him under his own power, like he doesn't believe when it's like really, like, if that just felt forced.
No,
It
I
felt
thought it
like
was
what
good.
you wanted to have a fight scene between Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and you were just looking for any excuse to get it. And meanwhile, Purple Man could have put him under his control without the whole backstory of the death of the wife and all of that.
I know. No, I agree with you, but I still I understand why they did it, and it was ultimately everything they did in that first season. I think worked. It didn't work while you're watching it, but it pays off at the end because when she kills Purple Man, you feel it. You know what I mean? Like you feel how much stress she's in just doing that one thing. You know what I mean? When she finally does it, it's not like she relieved herself from anything. It's like she's carrying more of a burden because of
Yeah.
everything else that you dealt with. You know what I mean?
Well, the fact that like you keep on getting like Purple Man voiceover throughout the following seasons, like
Yeah,
he's
she
still
was
in
in
her
love with
head.
that guy, or at least she was convinced that she was in love with that guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Well, he
it's
was
not
he was deep in her head. He had her totally under control.
exactly.
You
Mhm.
know, which is something that like the other characters seem to kind of get over, but she apparently doesn't.
Yeah, because I think her whole thing is that she actually fell in love with him, and like besides her being manipulated by him, I think she actually loved him for some reason. And then she got heartbroken, and she has to kill that guy, and that fucked her up even more. And it's like that show is what is like the Joker, the movie.
Yeah.
It's just a bad time the whole time, but it's so satisfying. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Season 2, I didn't like that much. That's why season 3 I didn't even fucking
Oh
watch.
I don't
God.
really remember season 2 that much.
Exactly, because it wasn't
It's
that good.
the trope of surprise. Your parent, who you thought was dead this whole time, is not dead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's her mom. It's so
Yeah.
stupid.
And now guess what? She's got powers too,
Yeah.
and she's even stronger than you are, and she's bad.
This whole show after season 1 is it's Game of Thrones all over again. The best shit, the best shit they did was take Alias, the comic book, and readapt it into Jessica Jones. That's all of season 1. Season 2, I don't even think it was referencing anything. I think it just came up with their own characters, and that's why that shit just fell flat. I didn't give a shit about anybody. Her relationship with her best friend, who was supposed to be Hellcat, didn't give a shit about her.
Oh,
Sorry.
I
Hellcat,
hated that character by the end of season 2,
Yeah.
and then season 3, I'm
it was
just like,
obnoxious.
yeah,
Does
because like
is Hellcat in the comics an antagonist, or end up becoming an antagonist?
Well, you see,
no, I think
the thing in the comics is that Jessica Jones' best friend isn't Hellcat; it's Captain Marvel. So you don't even have that
Oh,
dynamic with Hellcat. Hellcat is just one of those characters who go into like different realities, just like Doctor Strange. She does the same shit.
okay.
So like she doesn't really, she has nothing to do with Jessica Jones, but they kind of like mixed her in somehow, just because it's Patsy, whatever.
it's just that they needed to give her like a
A
relationship,
friend.
something that was like steady, and they were like, oh, let's give her a sister, and it'll be this character.
Yeah,
But it's also one of those things where it's like,
it doesn't work.
I mean, can you come off as a more entitled rich white girl than that character does?
Well, I mean, she was Patsy. Did you know Patsy? That was a comic book from like the 50s, I think it was. That they just readapted that character into the Marvel
And
universe.
they'll make her both like.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, if it all
she's a character
fits,
that
I mean,
existed since the romantic comic books back in like the 50s and shit, and they just
Yeah.
brought her back.
well, I mean, it fits, right? Because Patsy and Trisha are both nicknames for Patricia. So,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where
Oh
it's
shit! I didn't
like
even connect that. Good shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
you never connected
No,
Patsy and
I
Trisha
I
with
didn't.
Patricia.
Nope.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Look at
I'm
you
glad
guys.
I could enlighten you on something.
Nice.
But that character, like by the end of season 2, like seriously,
Yeah,
like,
it's so
and
stupid.
you're willing to trust some doctor who you consider to be an evil doctor to experiment on you because you want to get powers because you're so jealous of your sister's powers that
Yeah,
it's
that shit got to Hispanic novella levels at that end. For real, that's what that show became at the end of season 2. And I was like, I'm over it. I'm not watching Jessica Jones anymore. I have absolutely no desire. Tell me what happens in season 3 because I'm not going to watch that shit.
Season 3 kind of picks up, but if you remember the end of season 2, after
They
she
hinted
kills
at Hellcat. Which
right
fucking
after she kills Jessica's mom,
yeah.
Mhm.
like she finds out that the experiment worked, and she's got like supernatural reflexes,
Yeah.
which I think is basically what her powers are, right? Like supernatural reflexes. She's got like
Hellcat.
peak human speed.
Hellcat.
Stronger too.
Well, on the show,
Oh, on the
she's
show.
she's stronger, but she's not like super strong.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Yeah,
like
that sounds all about right with Hellcat, except minus the being able to walk through the dimensions and shit.
Yeah, but the character basically becomes like she's like a basically like the peak of human performance is what I would say is like her powers.
So she's like that Sergeant Hatred or whatever that character was in season 2. The guy who was
Yeah,
like
Mhm.
obsessed with that gas.
yeah. The
Pretty much.
basically that's what happens. The experiment winds up like giving her that power like permanently. Um, so like she winds up doing the vigilante thing. She puts on like the full body, like covering herself up completely with like long sleeve shirts and gloves, and she wraps like a scarf around the bottom of her face and the top, like kind of look. And she goes out, and then at first it's like, I'm here to help you, and then Jessica's like, I don't want your help, and
By any chance, was it
I'm
yellow?
mad at. No, it wasn't. It was blue.
Ah,
Which, if I recall, Hellcat's face mask is blue in the comics.
it's a piece of it is blue. Yeah.
Yeah. But like it's this whole like I'm still mad at you because you killed my mom thing for like the first few episodes, and then it's like, oh, and we've uncovered a serial killer, and suddenly like I'm still kind of angry with you, but I need your help. And eventually, she becomes the bad guy because she just starts killing villains.
Yeah.
You know.
She goes all Dexter on him. Yeah.
Dexter at least covered his tracks. She's just
Well,
killing fools and not leaving the bodies and shit.
I just googled Hellcat. You're right. It was blue. I imagine like a portion of it was blue. Yeah.
I believe if memory serves correct, yellow bodysuit with a
Yeah.
blue
Gloves
like a blue
and
face mask that has like whiskers on it,
yeah.
and
Oh
she's
yeah.
got red hair sticking out the back.
That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, but like and I think doesn't she have like long fingernails or something that like
Yeah, she's supposed to be a cat.
claws?
She has like blue gloves and blue
And I'm
boots.
talking about in the show, Gus.
like
Doesn't
saber.
she like claw off you guys?
Oh, I don't
Like
remember.
with her nails, does she like scratch their faces
They're
or whatever?
only trying to make it Hellcat, except they took away the most interesting thing about Hellcat, which is the whole dimension thing.
Yeah. But
She
it's
fights
just the whole,
Satan at some point. That's
yeah.
fucking cool.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where like she winds up becoming the villain.
Yeah.
And by the end of the season, she's like, I'm the bad guy. It's like yeah, I kind of saw that coming since last season.
Yeah.
And then so that wraps up that up. We didn't really talk too much about Luke Cage. Gus, obviously, you said you love the hip hop influence.
Yeah,
I enjoy the villains in Luke Cage.
I
Yes.
think they're the best developed. Yeah, absolutely.
Cottonmouth, Mariah,
Mhm.
um,
Go back like babies and pacifiers.
yeah, Diamondback. I think all of them good villains. I think. You talk about like twist of like I was your brother the whole time, and it's like, yeah, but you know what? It worked.
Yeah.
Like it works. The fact that like his preacher father, had an affair, and he had a brother that he didn't know was his brother, and all of that.
Yeah.
The music obviously awesome. I love the setting.
Mhm.
Obviously, I mean, bro, the actor.
For Conmouth?
No, well, yeah, but
Oh yeah, I know who you're saying the new Blade.
The
Yeah.
actor, the Luke. You talking about Luke Cage?
No, the actor who's going to play Blade. That's who you're referencing, right?
well, you guys are talking about
I'm talking about the first bad guy in Luke Cage. I forget his name. The first mob
Well,
boss.
Cottonmouth is the
it's
character.
it's on the tip
Was that
of my tongue.
Cottonmouth? Oh yeah, Cottonmouth. I was thinking of Diamondback. Diamondback was the ultimate, the last boss of the show,
The final boss.
the final boss. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, from freaking from
I'm forgetting his name too, man.
Don't worry about it. The dude, the atmosphere, not the atmosphere. That's the setting that Luke Cage puts on. I think is so fucking cool. Right off the bat, you have the barber shop, and that whole dynamic, him trying to keep that place afloat because it's like a legacy play. Oh, it's so I think that shit's so cool. And then the music for it, the music selection, they use the right music at the right time in every
Yep.
every scenario. They use it at the right time,
Yeah.
and they use like
Mahershala Ali.
There
Yeah.
you go. Mahershala Ali, Academy Award winner twice, I believe.
Yeah.
Right, he won for both Green Book and Moonlight.
I don't know if he won for Moonlight. I mean,
I think-
Moonlight won, but I don't know if he won.
It should. I mean, if you got it in front of you, it should say it. Mahershala Ali.
That's true. Let me just click on his name.
There you go.
Where'd he go? I lost him. Here he is. But yeah, man, like that's when I first, not my first introduction to that actor, but that's when I first really started to notice him, and that's when.
He killed it, bro. He killed it.
Man.
You know, it's one of my favorite shots in all of these shows, besides like the one shot fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The references that they kept using Biggie's poster in the back of that office and making the character stand in front of it to look like the king. I thought that shit was so well framed and like it was so well done. So because of everything just works. It's from Harlem. You have Biggie in the background. It's New York. It's a whole vibe, bro. It's a whole thing. You know what I mean?
Well, and the fact that it's like it's like a family dynamic because he's running the criminal empire.
Yeah.
Was it his sister or was it his cousin? Mariah.
Mariah was, I think she was his cousin.
The cousin, but like she's running like the politics in Harlem. She's like a councilwoman, right?
Yeah.
So it's like she runs
the
politics side. He's running the criminal side. This family is running all of Harlem, and I love the fact that like he gets taken out, and then she gets ousted out of her position of power. So she takes over for him. It's still a family criminal empire.
Yeah.
But then also like they never really tell you like was he just a light skinned guy or was he Puerto Rican?
Who?
The other bad guy, the guy with the shades.
Oh, Shades.
His name was Shades.
Yeah.
That was definitely.
I assumed he was Hispanic.
Yeah, he looks Hispanic. He didn't look.
Yeah.
Season 2, you bring in the Jamaican.
Oh God, that's right. What was his name?
Was it Bushmaster?
Bush. No, was it? It was Bush something.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. That was so good.
Yeah.
And he's a dope ass character too. He's got like he's also got like the super strength and all of that. The fact that he's a bad guy, but he's not a bad guy. He's just like trying to get revenge for like his family, like. And they're like, oh, the enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
Then you've got I almost said Bushmill, by the way, but I was like, no, wait, that's a Scotch.
So Shade's name in the show is Hernan Alvarez.
Okay, so so Hispanic.
So he's
you can't hide a Hispanic guy from me.
Yeah.
I got. Yo los encuentro por donde quiera me los esconden. Yo lo encuentro.
The only thing I did not that I thought they did bad is I think that the show was just too many episodes. That was the only thing.
I say that for all of them.
No, I would not say that for Daredevil. I think Daredevil was perfect, but
I don't know, man. I think there's a couple of episodes of Daredevil where it's like, okay,
I don't
move
agree.
on.
I fucking except for season 2.
There's a couple of like Karen and Foggy centric episodes where it's like, I understand we want to get to know like these guys as characters. I can do that through like increments. I don't need to spend an entire episode with Foggy's family.
Oh, well, I still like it. But the whole episode where he's at the deli and shit. That's right. I forgot about that episode. But I think Luke Cage was the one that suffered the most to it because I think that there was a lot of just politics. But
Luke Cage, one of the things I loved about Luke Cage season 1 is that they went, oh, the big bad guy. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of him halfway through the season and introduce another big bad guy.
I know.
Like, oh,
which is a good and a bad thing. It was good because they didn't see it coming, but it was bad because the second bad guy was not as good as Cottonmouth. Cottonmouth was the best.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should have had Cottonmouth like
be the big bad guy.
Be the big bad guy and just like build him up throughout the entire first half, kind of show him doing all the underground shit. Maybe he's the one that brings in Bushmaster. You know what I mean?
You mean Diamondback?
My bad, Diamondback. Yeah, yeah.
Diamondback.
Yeah, except that. Well, I don't know. Is that something that in the comics is Diamondback Luke Cage's brother?
I don't know. I never read Luke Cage. I
Because
have
I
no idea.
know, like when I hear Cottonmouth and I hear Diamondback, my brain immediately goes Serpent Society, which I think were like a group of bad guys in the Marvel universe that were not necessarily related. They were all snake themed,
Yes.
you know, and every character was named after a snake or whatever.
Yep.
But I know that with
Bryant, Black Mamba.
there you go. But I know that like I didn't mind the dynamic. The only thing I thought was like, okay, could we have made his suit look a little less snake-like, so that Diamondback is not looking like a cheesy, rattlesnake ripoff, and
Yo,
actually maybe
no
he's wearing like
lie.
military gear?
Yo, no lie. I actually like that. Like, I liked the cheesiness of that character just because throughout the entire season, you only have street level shit. You have the main character is just wearing hoodies with bullet holes in it. Nothing to fucking go crazy about. And at the very end, you got this dude decked out head to toe with the whole fucking getup, and he's true to form. He's a snake. He has a snake outfit. It's so silly. I loved it. I thought that show was cool though. I thought it was cheesy, but I thought it was cheesy in a fun way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a little. It was a little too much for me.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought it was cool.
I liked the storyline. I liked the fact that that it was one of those things where it's like, the he's the law. I was your brother, and the fact that like our father never accepted me as his actual son and all of that.
Yeah.
But like, actually, you know what? I'm going back. I'm looking at it, and it doesn't really look a whole lot like a snake costume. It's just I guess it's just the shape of it.
Oh, his back. His back does. It looks like the diamond of a king cobra.
Is that what it is? Because I see the shirt in the middle is kind of like that.
Look at his costume from the back. You'll see.
Yeah.
It looks silly.
But it's one of those things where it's like I enjoyed the story. I like the whole thing, but I almost feel like after you get an actor like Mahershala Ali to come in and play Cottonmouth, and he does such a good job. Like he comes in, he kills that role. And I don't know if it's one of those things where maybe it was just done for, maybe that was the time that he had available. Maybe he just wasn't available to film the rest of the season or whatever. But I almost feel like it should have been reversed, with maybe having the actor that played Diamondback play Cottonmouth, and then having Mahershala Ali play Diamondback would have maybe made that better.
I don't know if the actor that plays Diamondback would have been capable of playing Cottonmouth.
Well, but again,
That's true too. That's true too.
But you would have made Cottonmouth just the generic villain, and then Diamondback would have been like your heavy hitter. He's your right, like Mahershala
should have been
Ali.
the kingpin. Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. Cottonmouth should have been the kingpin of Harlem.
Yeah,
and commanding on Diamondback to do shit like that.
Right.
Yeah. No, I like it better that the idea that he should have just survived throughout the entire season and then died at the end of the season. That he should have been the final boss of that season.
I agree.
Yeah,
because he was too good. He was too good.
Yep. Maybe they didn't know that he was gonna fucking murk that role.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I think it was. I think that when they were recording it, when they finished, they wrapped it. They're like,
let me see what had he done.
I mean, Cottonmouth was dope. What the fuck are we gonna do with this Mariah bitch? No, we fucked up.
What had he done prior to doing Luke Cage? I mean, I feel like I want to say Moonlight came out around the same time.
It was definitely after season 1 of Luke Cage.
I'm looking at his IMDb page. He had a small part in Curious Case of Benjamin Button. He was on the show The 4400.
He hadn't done a whole lot of big stuff. Like I remember I recognized him. Like
okay, he was on the HBO show Treme.
I don't know.
and he had been on Alphas on Sci-Fi Network.
You know, I knew him from House of Cards.
House
That's
of
where I
Cards.
knew him
That's
from.
what I was about to say.
That's where I was introduced to him.
Yeah.
House of Cards. I didn't watch Hunger Games.
Yeah. You know what? You can't say you didn't know he was going to come in and murder that role, because he's did just a good job in House of Cards that you knew what you had. Like at that point, he's a known commodity.
In House of Cards. He does a really good job in House of Cards, but he didn't not at the level of
No.
Luke
He
By the way, I
Cage.
still haven't seen the final season of that.
House of Cards.
Yeah,
I saw it.
the final season with Robin Wright as the president.
Yeah, it's good. Like she does a good job. But it's not the same without Homeboy.
Yeah. Yeah, it just was weird. It was like, I don't know if I want to go back and watch this, but I gotta finish it. I gotta finish the story. I mean,
Yeah, you gotta watch it for closure.
but I don't know. Maybe it's 'cause I don't want closure.
Season 2, that was season 1. Season 2 with Bushmaster, dude.
And
Talk
Mariah.
about straight up, I was scared the entire time, bro. Every time that guy was on, dude, that guy was terrifying, man.
Bushmaster is a great 70s porn name.
There you go. All right. Okay. So move on to the Punisher.
Punisher.
Let's go.
Punisher only had what? 2 seasons? 1 season?
I'm gonna call it 2.5 because I'm gonna count season 2 of Daredevil.
Yeah,
that's true. Punisher. What? Season 1, phenomenal. Season 2.
Well, first of all, his introduction in Daredevil is just amazing.
Amazing.
The whole like the him and Karen, and and Karen learning to trust them and all that.
Mhm.
The whole trial thing. And then just like, let's be honest, that final episode of season 2 of Daredevil, when like he just shows up on the rooftop and starts taking out ninjas with a fucking sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Oh, Daredevil. I thought you were talking about fucking Punisher. I'm like, he didn't do that. But no, yeah, that was sick as fuck.
Yeah, Daredevil season 2.
That whole
Punisher
dynamic with him versus Daredevil through season 2 was fucking cool.
Which is a dynamic right out of the comics, because Daredevil's a vigilante, but he's also a lawyer who believes in the law.
Yeah.
Punisher is like, I am the law.
Yeah. You won't do what needs to be done, Batman.
Yeah. Which, is always, and it's kind of a line that you get to in Jessica Jones too, where it's like, Patsy keeps on being like, well, you won't cross that line and do what needs to be done, and I will.
I think it's a copy paste for every comic book. I think every comic book struggles with that shit.
Well, but it's one of those things, and I'm one of those guys who believes like, well, that's actually the true. I feel like that is the true line that marks whether or not you're a hero or not.
Correct. Yeah.
The fact that you would be willing to take someone's life, and in the case of like someone like Patsy or someone like the Punisher, that you would be totally fine with taking someone's life and not feel anything. Because even like, I feel like even Jessica Jones, like, yeah, she kills Kilgrave, but she's torn up about it. Like, it still haunts her. She didn't want to have to kill him, but he left no choice, right? And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can argue that like a true hero finds a way not to have to take a life,
but you can't do that with Kilgrave. There's no way.
You can't. Like, he literally had people enslaved, and he was about to kill everyone that was enslaved.
Yeah, and it's like, it's something he can't even control. It's pheromones. It's not like an ability he passes on. It's like if you breathe his pheromones, he controls you. It's over.
Yeah,
like you have to annihilate. He's a fungus, bro. You got to get rid of it.
Yeah, and then
can't get rid of producer fungus, bro.
There you go. There's no antibacterial for that. But yeah, man, like. And then Punisher, once you get into actual Punisher storyline, man,
Punisher is just badass. He's always been badass. It's kind of unfair because it's as hard to do Punisher bad. Like even the cheesy Punisher movies with John Travolta, remember that one? Even that was pretty fucking dope.
I thought this guy killed it. The Tom Jane.
Yeah.
I thought he was a great Punisher.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to fuck up that character. That character is just fun. It's just a fucking it's not fun. He's just a badass. He's like
it's weird. It's like you go back and you watch the '80s Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, and it doesn't seem so like over the top and so whatever. That Tom Jane one, there's action, but there's also like a lot of like heart and a lot of like story to that movie. And then you get Punisher Warzone with Ray Stevens,
That's just brutal.
and it's just like, you know what? We're gonna amp the violence up to a level of comedy.
Yeah, dude, that
Like,
movie was fucking dope. I love
dude,
that
when
movie.
he punches the guy through the guy's face.
Speaking of, let's just make a note about that. Jigsaw in that movie was Jigsaw. What we got in season 2, that was a boy that got scratched by a cat. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That
Yeah.
shit was get that pussy shit out of here. You're supposed to look like you got fucked up, boy. Now you got a little kitty cat scratch your face. Get the shit out of here.
I heard a
Well, I
lot of
think-
people complaining about that actually.
Well, because I think at the end of the day, it was like, well, do we really want to spend the budget to put this guy in a makeup chair for 4 hours every morning before we start shooting, and then have to go in and digitally correct it with CGI
Yes.
when we're talking about a show that probably didn't have a huge budget to begin with?
Yes. Always yes.
I'm sure they knew that they were not going to continue past that season.
Probably. I'll give you that. So instead they gave him a plastic mask with a bunch of scars on it, like a fucking
Well, that and
budget
they
makeup.
kind of made it where it's like, it's not that his face is the Jigsaw like in the comics, it's his brain.
That's true. But I mean, so was in the comics, so was his brain. He was just fucked up altogether.
Yeah.
But the scarring on his face is what gave him the nickname Jigsaw.
Did you ever play the Punisher video game?
No, I didn't even know there was a Punisher video game.
So when you read the novelization of the Punisher movie, which I did because it was the early 2000s, and I think I was on a flight or something like that. And I was like, let me just grab a book to read on the flight. So I read the Punisher novelization, and they set it up so that the John Travolta's son, the one that he blows up with the landmine,
Mm-hmm.
they had set it up so that he would become Jigsaw.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and if they had done a sequel to that movie, that's what it would have been. That he would have been Jigsaw. Like the blast didn't kill him; it just like disfigured
Fucked
him
him
or
up.
whatever. Yeah,
That could have been cool.
Yeah.
I kind of like it that it was his partner though. It gives it more of a like it's too close to home, His son. It kind of where did he learn all that military shit? You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't.
That's true.
connect.
You
But
can kill your own son.
yeah,
Yeah.
easy.
Can't do it.
You look stupid. Cut your hair, pop. Nah, but dude, the end of season 1 where he fucks up that guy's face, that was the most badass shit.
Mhm.
It was like fucked up, but it was so badass.
well,
He's
when
like,
he finds out that it's like, you're responsible for the death of my family, it's
it
like,
felt if it was like deserving.
Yeah.
he deserved it. You know what I mean? And I was like, hell, oh my god, this guy got fucked, because you see his face and it's all bloody and he's got fucked up. And then next season you see him, he has a couple of scratches. It kind of takes away. I was just like,
they gave him
dude,
some plastic surgery. He's got a scar under his eye.
it's like you
and,
ruined it. This
Yeah.
guy should have been like, oh, there's no amount of plastic surgery that's going to fix this monstrosity. I am sorry, sir. You know what I mean? This is like what it should have been.
But you know what? Do you take that over maybe they tried some prosthetics and it came out looking cartoonish? Because if you look at Punisher Warzone, Jigsaw looks cartoonish.
No, but I don't mind that. But then again, this comes from the guy who liked Diamondback. I thought he looked cool
That's true.
in a very cheesy way.
Then season 1 we get Micro, right?
Who gets Micro?
Yeah, I think it was Micro was the computer tech in the basement.
Yeah, is that
where he's living a second life with that guy's wife and his kids and shit,
Mm-hmm.
which was
Was that-
dope.
was that season 1 or season 2 though?
I can't remember. I think it was season 1. Season 2 was more about Karen and like detective work about
I think that was season 1.
Karen trying to help Jigsaw
Mhm.
back onto his feet. It was a lot more about PTSD. There was a bunch of like them going back to like old like vets, and they all want to like.
Well, I love like how that season starts and he's got like his hipster beard
Yeah.
because he stopped shaving and he's just working his construction job and and then just like, I just want to kill my coworkers. Like that whole thing was fun. And then like the fact that he goes to the diner and they call it a hipster beer, and he's like, "What's a hipster?" Like
Yeah.
shit like that. But then
No,
he
that
does. Oh yeah,
definitely.
and then he goes on the run, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was season. That's season 2. Season 1 was definitely the underground stuff. That's
Yeah,
because season 1. I remember he gets the bulletproof vest and he puts that fucking skull on it.
yeah.
That's what makes him badass. Just extra badass.
Am I getting confused with Punisher Warzone? Wasn't it Newman?
The comic book.
It was Punisher Warzone that Newman plays Micro, right?
I don't, dude. You're asking the wrong person, bro. I have no clue. Those are the questions we ask you, bro.
The guy from Jurassic Park, that the computer programmer.
Oh fuck!
Oh,
I think it
Needry.
was. I can't
no idea.
remember.
Was I want to? Oh man, now
I don't know, bro, but it's
you know what? I think that might be Punisher Warzone.
So, and then we have Defenders. Let's just move on because we're running kind of long.
Defenders. Well, I mean, look, Defenders did one thing which I love, which is I thought throughout the first 2 seasons of Daredevil, and I want to say she was in Luke Cage, but the villain,
wasn't it Electro?
no, the oh, Madam something,
Madam Web. No, Madam Web is Spider-Man.
yeah.
Madam the Crane. What's her fucking name? Madam Crane? Was it something like that?
No, I feel like it's something. God damn it.
Dude, I forgot about that. You're right. They had the crane. The I forgot her name. They had those like Chinese animals. I forget the name of those things. It was definitely a crane, and there was a widow.
Yeah, but when you get like the reveal that that she's from fuck, what's the place that he's from? Zenlaw?
Shang Lao or something like that.
That's where
Iron Fist.
dude, I'm forgetting.
God damn it. My memory is not what it used to be. But the villains and she does a good job. The fact that like bringing back God damn, fuck. You know what? I'm gonna look for it because. But I thought she was a great villain. The fact that she was around since Daredevil season 1.
Yeah.
Like and she plays it so subtly and all of that.
She's the lady that owns the Chinese restaurant, right?
She was like the head of the Chinese mafia.
Yeah.
And then it turns out she's actually the head of the Hand or something like that, I believe. Yeah. But the fact that like isn't she in Iron Fist season 1 also? And
she's the old lady?
Yeah, and isn't it revealed Madame Gao?
Madame Gao, that's it, yeah. She's in season 1, but she's only hinted. She shows the serpent. She has like the serpents on her drugs and shit.
Right, but doesn't she have like a super strong punch and all that, just like him?
No, she does more sorcery type stuff in the tournament.
I seem to remember an episode
but
where
she doesn't. She doesn't fight. No, she doesn't fight. She's like the what's the name of the Iron Serpent from Iron Fist Land? I'm saying everything wrong, but like the main guy in the Iron Fist realm.
The problem is that I want to say Shenlong, and I know that's Street Fighter.
I know that's not it. So you have like the big boss, like the big boss dude from each realm, and she's one of the big bosses that like sicks her Iron Fist fighter onto the other people. That's what she does.
Yeah, she's
more magical and mystical than brute force and strength and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Madame Gao was dope. Iron Fist could have been so fucking sick, dude.
It had a lot of potential, man. They fucked it up.
They ruined that shit. Kun Lun. That's it. Marco got it.
There you go. Thank you, Marco. Yeah. Where'd I get Zenlaw? I think Zenlaw is Deadman from DC Comics.
Was he? Damn, I don't remember that. I remember he was just like a trapeze artist. That's about it.
Damn, bro. Like at a certain point, these fictional cities start to kind of get all like mixed up with each other.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Defenders, I didn't really care about because they kind of ruined the ending for it. But At least they did Danny Rand a little better. He wasn't such a bitch, but he was still a
Yeah.
bitch.
I like that. I like seeing all the characters together.
I agree. I did like that too, but the whole thing they made, and it always goes back to Iron Fist because I love Iron Fist, but like the fact that they didn't double down on the craziness that is Iron Fist. I mean, you're talking about a character that killed a dragon with his fucking hand and like put his hand inside its heart to get the power of the Iron Fist. And like he makes it a joke every time he talks about it. He's like, I know it sounds crazy, but I fucking killed a dragon. He should have been like, bitch,
Yeah.
I killed a fucking dragon, son. You know what I mean? It should have been more like that.
By the way, I was way off. Zenlaw is the homeworld of the Silver Surfer.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, that's not another city. It's like another planet. But it's the whole storyline of the Defenders of them trying to like essentially they were like trying to like what like
Mhm.
bring a hell dimension or something into New York.
Marco says that it's like DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
I actually like DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
That's the only CW show that I've actually given time to.
You know, because you know what it is like they're the only ones that have kept it fun. Like they're the only ones that are like, hey, guess what? We're a crazy show about time travel and superheroes. Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, that's what that. But it's comic books. It's just the
Yeah.
nature of
Yeah.
it. You're supposed to just go crazy with it. I mean, in what realm does a guy in a fucking spandex suit beating up crime sounds fucking like? Oh yeah, that's fucking dope. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man.
Go crazy with it.
It's dark and it's brooding and it's
Yeah, no, dude, just go crazy with it. Have
Yeah.
fucking Luke Cage and Iron Fist beating up motherfuckers in like hip hop with like Wu Tang playing in the background. Do that
Oh, yeah.
shit every episode. Every episode.
I
Have
love
them breakdance fighting. I don't give a shit. Just do it.
Yes.
all
That'd
right.
be my favorite.
Just saying, bro. Capoeira all over this
Let's get
fuck.
some final thoughts, bro. Final thoughts
Final
on
thoughts.
the whole universe.
I'm kind of sad that some of the storylines won't continue.
Yeah,
I love the rumors that we might get some of these guys in on the Disney side.
Yeah.
I really would like to see a continuation. Maybe some of these guys don't need their own shows. Maybe they don't need their own movies, but they definitely would fit in to like existing properties.
Yeah.
Or
So I don't
just make
see.
them. Or I agree with you, but just make them instead of the main character, make them supporting characters.
Yeah, that's
like
what I mean. Like
you
make them a
don't-
supporting character.
yeah. You don't need an entire show about Jessica Jones. You could have her in like. Except for season 1,
Listen.
but the other seasons you could just have her in the background dealing with other shit that's happening. In a main person's instead of like Karen Page and Luke or Foggy.
Listen, I think you have a perfect opportunity with the next Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man's been outed, right? Obviously, he's gonna make some sort of claim like it's not true. It's not. I'm not actually Spider-Man. Matt Murdock comes in, and it's Matt Murdock from the show. Matt Murdock, I'm gonna take your case. We're gonna sue J. Jonah Jameson for libel, which already you've proven. If you can have J. Jonah Jameson played by the same guy that played him in the other movies, you're willing to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So have him come in, and guess what? Daredevil, he's gonna need a little bit of information in order to help you with this. So he's gonna hire Jessica Jones as a private investigator to maybe dig up some dirt on JJJ. Maybe try to find the scientist guy who we know uploaded the video. And all in order to prove that the video is fake or whatever. And maybe we need to hide out. We need to hide Aunt May and we need to hide Peter somewhere because they're in the public spotlight and people are coming after them. So maybe, hey, you're going to go stay in Harlem with my buddy Luke, for a little bit.
I think you're asking for way too much at this point, bro.
But it's just a very convenient way to introduce these characters. And especially because, like, look, man, like you said, the guy who played Danny Rand in Game of Thrones, like, I don't really know him from anything else. But Mike Colton, who played Luke Cage, like I've seen that guy in like a dozen TV shows before he was ever Luke Cage.
Yeah,
that guy was definitely deserving of having his own show, and he did a really good job at it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Daredevil. We've all said how great of a job he did. Kristen Ritter, I love as an actress. I
I
love.
don't think I think that was the one miscasted character. I don't think she looked or even portrayed strength in any
It
way.
maybe not strength, but like I loved her on Breaking Bad.
No, well, I've never seen Breaking Bad. I loved her in the bitch from
Don't
Apartment.
Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. I thought
That's
she was
it.
hilarious
She
in
was
that.
hilarious in that. Yeah,
She's got range. She can play. She can play funny and stupid, and she can play like serious and dark. Like,
yeah.
but I mean,
I just think that with a character that has super strength, I mean, I like the idea of having somebody who obviously does not look like she's super strong and just being super strong, but I just feel like she did not fill that role right aesthetically. Not like the way she played it. I think the way she played it was amazing, but I don't think
I don't know. I
aesthetically she looked right.
I totally buy her as the dark, brooding alcoholic who doesn't
Oh,
want
I
to have
don't.
anything to do with.
I guess it's because I'm too fucking used to seeing her being the cutesy, pritzy. And if you see her on like talk shows, she's like such a valley girl. She's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
By the way, was that not such an underrated show? Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23.
It was, man. That show was awesome.
This is she's got like a stalker fanboy who makes anime manga comics about her.
That show's good.
I never saw
Oh,
that show.
oh man, it's on
Yeah.
Netflix. I think. Actually, I
It
think it's
was.
still
That's
on.
how I saw it. I saw it on Netflix.
Yeah. I think it's still on it.
My final thoughts on the Marvel universe. Easily Daredevil's reign supreme. That shit deserves to be brought back with
Yep.
all the characters. Everybody's still intact.
Agreed.
Iron Fist, dude, it hurts so much. I hated it. The last couple of episodes of the last season were fucking cool. So I was kind of like hopeful for the next season because, like, you get Davos and you get the fucking tournament and you get the new Iron Fists and he loses his power. I thought that was all fucking dope. So what was going to happen after that probably could have saved it, but we'll never know now. Luke Cage, although it was too long, I thought it was a great show all the way through. And Jessica Jones, I fucking loved also, up until second half of season 2, and then I completely turned off. Just did not give a shit at all. And then Defenders. Honestly, what they should do with Luke Cage and Iron Fist is just put them together because they work best together in the comic books and every
Heroes for
aspect.
Hire, baby.
Hero for hire, bro. Just do that.
That'd be dope.
They work the best together. And I had an idea when they ended season 1 of Iron Fist and season 1 of Luke Cage. Luke Cage gets locked up, right? And Danny Rand, doesn't he get locked up also at the end, or he gets like framed for some shit?
No,
I don't remember.
Luke doesn't get locked up at the end.
Yeah, he does. Season 1, yes, he does.
Well, that's like 2 episodes before the end of the season, and then he gets out.
Yeah, because he fights his brother in the street.
Oh shit! I remember him getting locked up. Anyway, they should have just had it at the end where he gets locked up, and for sure, yeah. So much so that their kids are named after each other. So
I did not know that.
yeah, but I think they should have ended both of those seasons with both of them going to jail, and surprise, surprise, who are their inmates? Each other, and that's how they develop a bond and they become best friends. And then you don't have to do season 2 of either or. You could do season 2 as Heroes for Hire because while they were locked up, they came up with an idea to do Heroes for Hire and build a business and clean the streets and do all this fucking shit. That would have been so fucking sick instead of going back to,
Yeah, but they didn't do that. So
they didn't do that exactly.
But I think their dynamic works anyway. It just
It
the only
does.
thing, and if you wouldn't have had Danny Rand going off to travel the world in search of how to get the Iron Fist powers back, the season 3 of both of those shows could have just been Heroes for Hire season 1.
Yeah, but it should have happened in season 2, and like the stuff with him doing the tournament that should have been season 1, like easily. Like there's no reason to have what we had for season 1 of Iron Fist.
Right.
But anyway, those are my thoughts.
Gus,
I liked it, man. You know, when I found out that Netflix was coming out with these shows, I don't really know a lot of the backstories of these characters, so I enjoyed them. Even though Iron Fist sucked, I still enjoyed learning about it a little bit.
By the way, I think we didn't mention it. I think John Bernthal. They should just give him a Punisher movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, why not? That guy's
Sa-
amazing.
For
You know,
sure. And
Yeah.
Daredevil too. Daredevil,
you
Kingpin, and Daredevil. Those two are fucking made for television. Like not for television, for movies. They are that good of actors.
yeah. But and you can do John Bernthal as the Punisher, and like he doesn't have to be in New York. He can be like in Chicago and L.A. Like wherever like you have a city where like you can have a strong mob presence.
Yeah.
Hell, you can do Punisher in Miami, going after
That
like the
would be dope.
freaking the Hispanic cartels and stuff like
That would
that.
be dope.
Yeah, let's do
That'd be
it. Let's
fucking
do
dope.
it.
You know, I
But
mean, like Punisher's got like you can do that movie's got no limit on how many sequels you
oh
can
yeah,
pump
you
out.
can do flashbacks of him in war and just dude, you can do so much with Punisher. It's so
And
funny.
instead of him having a hipster beard, he could have like a Razor Ramon 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing.
But yeah, man, like you can do Miami, you can do Chicago, you can do New York, you can do Philadelphia, you could like
Yes.
you can do pretty much any major city in the world is going to have organized crime, and that's all you need for the Punisher.
Mhm.
You need an organized crime family that he has targeted, and then you just need to show him like
Just going
planning
ham and
out
cheese.
and taking out the family step by step.
Yeah.
You know,
But love it or hate it, this is my final thought on this whole entire thing. Love it or hate it, these shows, whether Iron Fist was shit, whether things ran too long, whether the stories kind of fell off, we have to hand it to these guys for going out and attempting, like Netflix specifically, for going out and taking a chance with this. Because without this, you do not get the Marvel Disney Plus shows coming. Like they would never have invested in that kind of shit. We wouldn't have gotten Umbrella Academy. We wouldn't have gotten any of the comic book influenced shows anymore.
Yeah.
Up until
Well,
now, these guys
I
were the
mean-
first ones to do the shows. You know what
I mean, I think without these shows, Agents of Shield would have been canceled after the first season.
Yeah, exactly. So like you have to hand it to them. You love it or hate it, you have to give it to them for the effort and the vision, you know what I mean, for what they did.
100%.
So, and because of this, I'm hyped for Moon Knight. You know what I'm saying, baby? Let's do this.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's gonna wrap us up. We're follow us on join the group, guys. We're always active in the group. Follow us on Insta, follow us on Twitter. Hey, if you're watching us on YouTube and you like this kind of irrelevant commentary and things like that, just down there on the bottom somewhere around here, hit that subscribe button.
Yep.
And that way the shows will pop up automatically. I think for the time being, we're gonna keep on doing these live streams like this. And
Yeah, it works.
in the future, I don't know how it's gonna go. So tune in next time. Same Sith channel, same Sith time.
Same Sith network?
Will Pedro show his face?
Probably not.
Tune in next time to find out.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week.
That.